September 2016. I'm flying from Athens to Dusseldorf, and I have a 10-hour layover in Belgrade. I chose this Air Serbia flight on purpose, as I wanted to get a taste of the city. I had wanted to visit the city for years, but hadn't done it until now. My departure time at Eleftherios Venizelos International Airport is 5 in the morning, and I will arrive in Belgrade 1 hour and 40 minutes later. When I arrived, bus service hadn't started yet, so a taxi was the only way to get to the city center. So I took one to the train station, and from there I walked the Kalemegdan Park, which is one of the main attractions of Belgrade. It is very early in the morning, and naturally, there's practically no one in the streets. I walk around and admire the buildings as I cross Kneza Mikhaila, which is the main pedestrian street of the city. I head north and I arrive at the park, which rises up to an altitude of 125 meters. The Sava River flows by the west side of the park and the Danube River to the north, a point where two of the largest rivers in Europe intersect. From here, there is a beautiful panoramic view of Belgrade. The name of the park comes from the Turkish word kale, which means fortress, and megdan, which means battlefield. Kalemegdan Park is a huge green area in which I really enjoyed strolling through. Apart from the castle inside the park, there is also a zoo, the War Museum, as well as many statues and other attractions. The Victor Monument stands out in particular, which was built to commemorate Serbia's victory over the Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian empires, the tomb of Ali Pasha, and the Nebojsa Tower, where Rigas Fereos was killed on June 24, 1798. The area is quite beautiful, and the locals enjoy it here very much. I was impressed by the fact that a park within a big city is full of squirrels, which you can see passing in front of you while jumping from the trees. I leave Kalemegdan Park, and now that some time has passed, there are people on the streets. I sit down for coffee and take the opportunity to check my email, as it's a working day. The Kneza Mikhaila and surrounding streets are the core center and main market of Belgrade, so it's definitely worth strolling around. To the west, close to the park, you'll find the Palace of Princess Ljubica, the Serbo-Orthodox Museum, and the Question Mark Tavern, which is one of the most famous in the city. It is a historical building built in 1823 by a Greek architect. The story is interesting, as it got its unusual name in 1892 during a dispute between the Serbian Orthodox Church and its owner. The tavern originally opened as a cafe, and the owner had named it after the Soborna Church. This led to church authorities strongly protesting, forcing him to remove the name. So, as a temporary solution, the owner put a question mark on the door, where it eventually became its official name. On the southeast side of the city center, you'll find Republic Square. It is the main meeting point for locals, and the National Theatre and National Museum of Serbia are located here. This is Sonia from the Free Walking Tours, which organizes free tours of the city for tourists. Information on this can also be found at tripment.net. One area that I really loved in Belgrade was Skadarlija. It's a bohemian district with lots of cafes and restaurants, which mainly comes alive at night. It's very picturesque and the ideal place to enjoy Serbian cuisine in a traditional setting. I continued to walk around the city as I wanted to capture as many pictures as possible. I passed by the Old Palace, built in 1882, the Parliament Building, built in 1936, and a few meters down, the City University. I passed by some currency exchange centers, where you can change euros into Serbian dinars at a rate of 123 dinars to the euro, at least on the day that I visited. I walked down Krasilja Miljana Street to get to the Slavica roundabout. On my right, I pass the Student Cultural Center, and on my left, I see a nice street with lots of cafes in a row. The Slavica roundabout is considered as an attraction, as tourists sit and observe how accidents fail to occur even with cars coming in and out so fast. Tourists that do this probably haven't been to India. Further down is the Temple of Saint Sava, which, if the signs are true, it is the largest Orthodox church in the world. It was built in 1594, but is currently being renovated inside. It is now noon and I will make a stop for lunch. Even though I wanted to try some local cuisine, I chose to eat at an Italian restaurant that I passed by, as I wasn't sure if I would find something later on my way. I ordered a spaghetti dish and a cola and paid about €6.50, which seemed very cheap for me. The NATO bombing of the city in 1999 lasted 78 days. Despite the fact that Belgrade did not suffer as much as other cities in Serbia, the effects of the war are even to this day quite large and noticeable. The most famous being the building of the Interior Ministry and the Ministry of Defense on Kneza Milosa Street. As time is running out, I head to the station and take a taxi to the airport. On my way there, I come across a market, and as always, I stop to take a look at what they had. My time here comes to an end, as I have to depart in a short while.
Το αεροδρόμιο απέχει περίπου 20 χιλιόμετρα και το κόστος με το ταξί είναι 15 ευρώ. Το ταξί κάνει γύρω στα 20 λεπτά με μισή ώρα για να φτάσει από το κέντρο της πόλης και το λεωφορείο κάνει γύρω στα 50 λεπτά.
From the few hours that I spent here, I believe that Serbians have much in common with Greek culture and philosophy. I can now say that I completely agree with the statement that Belgrade is the gateway to the Balkans, with both its positive and negative elements, as all Balkan countries tend to have.